Hey guys, welcome to our June 1st call with True Fit and Team Flourish. We're so glad that you're able to make it or catch the recording. We're going to be talking today about how to kind of schedule your summer out. It's kind of hairy because you get used to this routine and then everything changes, whether you have school-age children or even preschoolers. You know that my little ones kind of get crazy and we've got to schedule outside of the home playtime. So we're going to kind of talk about that. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Renee Hart. I am the founder of True Fit Nation. And let's think, something strange about me or something you would not know. I used to have like these random things. Oh, I actually like Star Wars. I think there's a lot of ladies out there that don't like it or have never seen it, but I actually really like Star Wars stuff. I don't have like a collection or anything like that, but I like Star Wars. And joining us is going to be Angie, and I'll turn the mic over to her to introduce herself.
Now I'm like, what random thing do I have? So I'm Angela Vossmeyer, founder of Team Flourish. And something random about me that a lot of people don't know is that when I was in high school, I was in choir and was selected to sing backup for Shania Twain in one of her concerts. And I thought it was like a badass, me and like 6 or 7 other people. So cool.
That is cool.
She ended up not being as cool as I was hoping she would be, and we're no longer best friends.
Aww. You guys broke up
that day. But that's my random fact about Angie. I don't ever talk about that anymore. I kind of forgot about it until just now.
I would have never thought that you were in choir. I don't know why. But
okay. Only in my car now. Only in my car. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Okay.
Yes. So we'll go ahead and get started. And for those catching the recording, I want you to do this activity too. We've asked those that are joining us to have a blank sheet of paper. And because we're talking about summer scheduling and things like that, what I want you to do with that piece of paper, we'll give like 30 seconds. What is your goal for this summer? Whether it be a personal goal or a business goal, or something that's in the forefront, but what is your goal this summer? So go ahead and write that down. If you have more than one goal, by all means, write both of them down. Make mine big. Do about 10 more seconds. And keep that piece of paper handy. We're going to come back to that at some point during our call. I'm going to go back to my notes. So when you think about your business, we always talk about the daily force. And I went ahead and printed this blank one out here so we could kind of reference this as we want instead of doing a screen share. We've all seen this. We don't need to beat you over the head with a sock like, homie, don't play that, because we've all seen this, you know. But we hear it all the time. We talk about it all the time. There's a reason for that. So when you're thinking about your business along with the daily force, we talk about getting a power hour in. And we talk about, are you able to schedule an hour consecutively? Or are you breaking up that into different increments of time? So we're going to go over some of the things today. Take baby steps instead of just sitting here lecturing you. And this is going to be interactive. So if you don't want to be muted because you want to chat, feel free to unmute yourself. it is only the four of us so far, but feel free to just interrupt us as we're talking or raise your hand and we'll stop talking. I mean, I promise I will. I don't know about Angie, but she seems like a nice person. So just raise your hand and we'll stop what we're saying. Because this call is really here for you and for myself and for Angie to kind of get our act together before we jump into the summer and before we know it, 2 months are gone and our business is suffering, our health and fitness goals are suffering, and we're like, what just happened? Now I'm freaking out about getting the kids back to school. So shifting gears back to what you're going to be doing each day. My suggestion, do the hardest thing first. So when we talk about the daily fours, we're talking about inviting, adding, connecting, and mentoring. What do you hate? What is your frog? What puts you off to where you'd clean your entire house before you would do that thing? That's your frog. We want you to eat that frog first. I know for a lot of people, it's inviting. We feel strange. I don't like to sell. I'm not a salesperson. People are going to see right through me. People are going to say no. These are all apprehensions. Just to ask someone, do you have any health and wellness goals? So when you're scheduling out your day, whether it's a power hour or in increments, do that first. Do what you hate first. Get it done. And for some of us, it's our actual workout. It's not the business part of it. It's our actual workout or drinking Shakeology or prepping, whatever it is that you hate doing that is instrumental to your business. Personal development, I know, is mine. I'm kind of going through a lot of self-reflection right now because I'm having a lot of doubts in myself in all facets of my life. So I'm really needing to dive into personal development. So for me, when I'm doing my schedule, that's the first thing I'm going to do. As far as inviting goes, I really encourage you guys to utilize the scripts for inviting so that you're not having to think about it. You copy and paste, proofread, click, send, done. You didn't die. You're still breathing. Oh, they looked at it. They're not responding. It's okay. It's okay. Odds are they've seen you. They know that you're a Beachbody coach. This invitation probably isn't going to come to a shock to them. So just do it and be confident in yourself. You're just sharing what has worked for you and wanting to bless someone else with confidence and with change. So, the next kind of...
Hey, Renee.
Yeah.
Where can you find those scripts?
The scripts, I know that I have put some out there for my team, actually posted onto my page, but the Mac Daddy of all of the resources that Angie and I cover are in the SoulFit files. So I am making the assumption that everyone on this call is a member of the SoulFit Nation group. That is Angie and myself's direct upline, Erica Buzzard. Within that group, you can find files, and there's all kinds of goodies there. There are scripts there. There are personal development books listed. The old SoulFit Nation calls are there. But that is my suggestion for finding that. And I really encourage you also, if someone responds and you are, wetting yourself, what do I say? Oh my gosh, they want more information. What do I tell them? Just act like you're having a conversation. I know that Carrie and I have previously discussed, she feels so much more comfortable having face-to-face conversations. Ask them to call. Hey, can I call? Do you have a couple minutes? Or when can I call you? We can talk about this. Send them a voice recording because you're speaking about it. It doesn't feel like robotic. Let me tell you about the 21-day fix. That's how we feel when we're doing those things, but I guarantee you people aren't feeling that way. So to answer Angie's question, SoulFit Nation files up at the top of the page. I am not really good at accessing Facebook on my computer. So if that is, I can't tell you offhand where to go if you're accessing it from a desktop, but I know in my phone, in the more, there's a more with like 3 dots. If you click there, you can look at the group information, you can access the files, you can look at old pictures. So the files section of the group page is where you can find those scripts. I would venture to say also that there are some script-like references in your coaching online office when you're looking at the FAQs for the program. So if you have never done the 21-day fix, for example, and you've got a group coming up this week and someone asks you about the program, well, I've never done that. Linda says, I have only done Turbo Kick. I can't really speak to the 21-day fix. You can always reference that information or send your upline a message or post it in your team page or the SoulFit team page. Does that answer your question, Angie? Thumbs up?
Yes, and if you're accessing it on a desktop, the Files tab just shows up there. And then for my team, I do have a whole list of invites in our Files tab as well, kind of expanded and more updated than what is in
SoulFit.
But at least it helps get the conversation started if you're, because sometimes we overthink it, like you were saying, and you kind of lose your words.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you, Angie touched on a good point, them being kind of outdated, where they're updated or more personal. Proofread those messages before you send them out. I have been guilty of this where I've used an invite where I was inviting to my February challenge group for a May challenge group. So it's not that big of a deal, but just proofread what you're sending so that you're not, cutting off your feet before you even have entered the race. And then follow-ups. I know that's a hard one. I sent all these invitations on a Monday, sent out 30 invites and no one, crickets, or 15 people have said no, 15 people haven't responded. It's okay to follow up. You just determine if you feel like 2 days is enough or 1 week is enough or what you feel comfortable with. But just follow up, because I know I personally get a lot of people that I don't get a response. When I send that follow up with them, they tell me what's either going on in their life and why they can't do it at this point in time, so I know if and when I can follow up with them. Or they're like, oh, I meant to send you a message, let's do it. Or you might get crickets too, but that's okay, guys. That is okay. They're not coming to your house, knocking at your door, punching you in the face. They're giving it 5 seconds of thought and they're moving on. So don't you spend more than 5 seconds worrying about why they haven't responded. I think that with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Angie and let her kind of chat more about organization and connecting with people.
So just to touch base in my thoughts on the organization of it, because while I am a stay-at-home mom, it does kind of change things up quite a bit with Jack being home full-time, and that's really going to impact how my day runs. And so what I did was to try and start being creative with my life and just to figure out when I can do this. So what I did, and this is I've started a list of things that I would like to accomplish daily and then weekly. And everything is going on this list. My workouts, my clean eating, my beach body time, what day I'm going to mop floors, what day I'm going to do laundry, because I think we all, whether you work full time or not, it's so overwhelming with the amount of things that we feel like we need to do and accomplish on a daily basis to only feel at the end of the day that we've accomplished nothing, and it sucks. So I'm hoping that kind of getting creative with this and kind of writing it out so I can see and have a visual of what I am getting done each day. And then from there, I'm kind of working at, like Renee said, I do the hardest things first. I don't like inviting. And then probably the second thing I don't love is adding people, because sometimes you feel like a stalker or a creep or whatever. So those are the two things that I get done first thing, because a lot of my follow-ups, mentoring and connecting, I can do kind of in between doing other things through the day. So just kind of spacing it out. And then I also make sure that in there, I think posting is very important. So I make sure to incorporate that into my schedule. I post on my business page in the morning. I try and do something again late afternoon and then in the evenings. But regardless, I do at least 2 posts on there a day. And I can tell a huge difference in that, because even if you're not getting people coming to you or responding, the thing is you're being consistent with what you're putting out there. And some people, I know I was like this, I like to kind of sit back and see, is this the real deal before I invest money in someone or something. So be creative with your schedule. Set business hours. Set aside time that you know for sure you can get things done. So while I think this is crazy, but with Aaron and Erica, why they are where they are now is because those broads woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, worked their business for an hour, got their workouts in, and then started through the rest of their day, and then came back to it in the evening. So I'm not a morning person. I would rather stay up a little bit later. So, whatever works for you, because you don't want this to take away from your family time or interrupt your daily life. This needs to be something that is an added bonus to it. I'm sorry, I'm looking over my notes. So with that is, to kind of go back to follow-ups and connecting with people, that is the key. And just to have genuine conversations. You don't want to be like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, that's great. How are the kids? And then bam, hit them with the sales pitch. That's not what it's about. And I think if you continue to lead from the heart and genuinely have interest in that person and how you can help them, and you can build that relationship, then all the other stuff is naturally going to come along. But the key thing with it is being consistent. If you know how when you don't do something, it like nags at your brain the whole time. Like if you don't get your workout in, then you feel guilty about it, and then you may not do it the next day, and then you just feel more and more guilty, and then you end up feeling discouraged about it, and then you just kind of give up for a little while. That's how this business is for me. In a way, if I don't stay consistent with it, it overwhelms me, and that's silly because there's nothing overwhelming about it. But if I just sit down and do it, then it's fine and it's fun, and the conversations are more fun, and getting to talk to people is more genuine. But when you don't do it and it nags at you, that's when the fun's gone. So be consistent and just tackle bits of it every day. It doesn't have to be every day. The whole point of the daily fours is that you're consistently doing that 4 times a week. So pick 4 days, and the other 3 days just have fun conversations with people. And then over time, it's all going to build up. But don't let it stress you out. Take a minute, be creative, and just look at your schedule. There is time. We always find time because we are amazing super moms, and we always seem to get shit done even though we don't think we're going to. So just stop stressing yourself out. I think that's it on that, Renee. Back to you, sister.
So, kind of back to Angie talking about making a list and doing it 4 times a week. For me, I'm very similar. I want the pen on the paper. I want to see it. And we're not talking about these things because if you're not doing them, we want you to feel bad. We just want to help you and share what we've done and what has worked for us. So there is a chance that what we're telling you isn't going to work for you. The thing I like about the Daily Fours is it's broken it up into 4 pieces. and you can schedule that time if you don't have a full hour, but you can break that down if you're doing those things. And let's say you're doing 10 to 15 minutes each, that's your hour. You can set a timer and you're close to that power hour time frame. No, you're at the power hour time frame with 4 different categories, your daily 4s, in 15-minute increments each. And also, if you have a busy day and you are on your phone and you're following up, just because you haven't gotten a chance to write some of this stuff down, recognize that you're still doing those behaviors. And again, cut yourself some slack, but plan for it, schedule for it, set the expectation for yourself to do it. Angie and I were talking last week when we met about possibly having an accountability partner, where if you are struggling to work on that stuff, Angie is my accountability partner, and I go to her when I am down. I go to her when I need reassurance of what I'm doing. I go to her if what I'm doing isn't working, because just because you try something and it doesn't work doesn't mean you have to quit. Just like she said, if you skip that one workout, oh my God, you just feel so guilty. And then the next day you skip that workout and then you're like, I'm just done. I've blown it. You've never blown it. Only if you don't wake up the next morning is it over. So give yourself a pep talk. Call your upline. We can assign you cross-team-wise accountability partners, and would love that. Or within your own teams, you can have accountability partners too. Now, writing on your schedule and selecting dates for your challenge groups, that I know has helped my team out a lot, because they know that they have something to invite people to. So write it down on a calendar, even if it's a calendar you look at once a month, or when someone asks you a question, just write it down. And I'm going to circle back to your goal that you wrote down. Yes.
I'm going to interrupt and just say freaking amen. I have been, I think, all over the board with this business since I started. And when there were months that I just like didn't do anything, said I was, but I wasn't really doing it, because I think I don't know what my deal was. I just wasn't doing it. And then I ended up beating myself up about it. And then I had called Erica and had that, pep talk or whatever that I needed to hear. And once I stopped overthinking everything and just sharing my life, that's when everything started changing. When I started consistently doing daily 4s, it's helps me not stress out about it as much, and it just happens, but I will admit I have been awful at personal development lately, and Renee and I have talked about this a ton, and that's something I need to focus on, because there was a solid 2 months that I was really amazing at personal development when I was reading You Are a Badass, and those months were like some of the best months I've had in my business, because I was focusing on me. And I wasn't sitting there focusing on all of these other people, but then it helped me help others even more. So just take it back to the basics and don't beat yourself up, like Renee said. Amen.
Yeah. That's all I have. Be Madonna. I mean, how many times has that babe reinvented herself? You are not married to what has not worked. So if you've tried a power hour, that doesn't work for you. You've tried 15-minute increments, that doesn't work for you. You switch it up. You are the boss. Reinvent what you're doing. Or if you're just having self-doubt, because think about it with a workout. If you press play for a couple days and you're like, I don't want to do this, you change what workout you're doing. You don't keep beating your head up against the wall and torturing yourself. So it's the same with your business. And putting the pen to paper, writing your goals down, holding yourself accountable is kind of what your team is there for, not to make you feel bad about yourself, ever. We just don't want you reinventing the wheel. And you guys are here because we have believed in you and still believe in you. And because for a split second in time, when you clicked on submit, even though you were scared shitless, you believed in yourself. So let's tap back into that. And if you got to keep buying stuff, then keep buying stuff, but you don't really have to. But, you know, just get back to that hope and that faith that you had, and where you didn't really need validation from me or from Angie or your brother or your sister or your mom or your cousin or your husband. You were looking for that from yourself. And when you are coming from a place of help, it's not going to feel icky. It is a business, and we are really blessed that we can make some awesome money, and Angie and I can stay home with our kids. You can help pay off bills or just even get healthy. So it does work. It is worth it. Worthless. No, it is not. And my mom's calling me, so we'll send her to voicemail and turn the ringer off. Sorry, Mom. I love you. But what I want you to do with that piece of paper, look at it again. If you feel comfortable with sharing your goal, I want you to hold it up to the screen. It's like when you go to the club, everybody's worried about their own goals, not other people's, how they look. I'm going to start. Did you write backwards, Angie? Oh my gosh. How come can you guys read mine? I can't read my own. Mine's backwards.
Mine's back. I don't know why I want to be a 2-star diamond coach if you can't read that, or 6, I guess, if you're reading it backwards. I'll take either, really, at this point. And then SC5 All-Star. I want to hit that.
And Linda wants to lose more inches, add another coach, and get over the 220 mark. I also am going with my health as my first one. I want to lose 15 more pounds. And that goal I have for myself before Summit, only because it's a goal, not because I'm trying to look good for anybody at Summit going to judge me. And then building my team, and I need to get more specific on that, but with more coaches and people that are as passionate about this business as I am. And Carrie, put yours closer. We can't see it. It's blurry.
3 new coaches.
3 new coaches.
All their new glasses. You're welcome.
So we did an activity like this. Gosh, that was almost a year ago.
Super Saturday.
And we did it at that SOAR training. Where we kind of wrote things down for ourselves, because I think we forget it, you guys. We're like, damn it, like me this morning. I didn't hit SE5 again. And for a while, my physical transformation and the success of my business kind of were carrying me. And I was able to skate by without doing personal development, and like just had a complete revelation this morning that it needs to change, because when you start doubting yourself, that's when you've got to change. And I just forgot my goals. I wasn't visualizing anything, and everything like just kind of came crashing down. And you know, April and May were really rough months for me. Up until then, I would have been an SC5 All-Star, I'm sorry. If I would have hit SC5 in April and I missed it, that was my last month. So I was ready in May. Let's do this. Oh my God, you know, I'm going to hit SC10. And I hit SC3. So I'm not going to keep beating my head up against the wall and think about my failures. All I can do is change what I'm doing and reinvent what I'm doing, because this is the real deal. And I'm worth it. And I've put a lot of energy and emotion into this business. So when you're feeling like a failure, oh crap, last week sucked. I didn't invite anybody, double up the next week, or just move on. Just move on. And with the summer, you want to have fun with your family, and you just have to remember your why. Why are you doing this? Is it for you? Is it for your kids? So you can go on Disney vacation or Disney cruise next year? Write it down, because you will forget. And I am telling you, I forgot. And I might have posted on Facebook about my why a month ago. Oh yeah, it's so great. But unless you are seeing that every single day and you're working towards something, then it's going to be easy for you to give up. And we don't want you to give up on yourself. I want to circle back to the accountability partners. Angie and I are going to touch base with our team after tonight. Think about it. And your accountability partner is nothing to be afraid of. They're not going to lecture you. They might tell you to get your head out of your ass. I needed someone to tell me that this morning, and I got it. But they're there just to remind you of what you wanted and what you needed. So think about it. We're going to be touching base to see if you are ready for an accountability partner. I'm like stuttering. I have dry mouth.
Well, you're going to keep talking, so I was going to take your head out of your ass and let me talk for a second.
Okay.
Where's my water gun to keep my dog from barking? If your dogs bark, shoot him with a water gun. There's my tip for the night. First off, Renee, speaking from the heart, because I think we have been feeling a lot of emotions that I think a lot of newer coaches feel, but we don't always share our struggles because we're trying to help other people. But when it comes down to it, and yes, the accountability partners, if you feel like that is something that would benefit you, awesome. We will help team you up. Or if you have someone in mind, then ask them. It's always good to get someone kind of on the same playing field as you are, just so that way you're more relatable and help push each other towards your goals. But, one thing that I keep looking at that Renee and I wrote down when we talked is, how can we help you more? Do you need daily accountability? I mean, Renee and I talk almost daily, and just, sometimes it's bouncing ideas off each other. Sometimes it's just to complain about something because it's a safe place and a safe person you can do that with, because she knows I'm not genuinely maybe like upset with somebody or something. Do we need to meet with you more one-on-one? If you're not in town or close, do you need a weekly Zoom call or FaceTime chat? Do you need a daily reminder sent to you, either in text, email, Facebook, smoke signals, whatever works for you? We are here to help you, but we can't help you and we can't help each other if we don't know what you need and what you're feeling, because then that's when, I lost my thought. But if we don't know how to help you, we can't help you. And sometimes, I know for me, I don't always want to go to Erica, my upline, for stuff. Sometimes I just, again, want someone on the same playing field as me, that are in the trenches right alongside me, much like our challenge groups, that can relate to what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And, so sometimes that's the best. So just really take a moment tonight, and over the next few days, I'll probably follow up with my team on Friday about, what would work best for them. So that way we can really dig in and help you, because that support, just like the challenge groups, the support of this team is what helps us get through the grind. Back to you, Renee.
Agreed. I know, kind of echoing what Angie said, a lot of times if you do go to your upline and they're hugely successful, which I do consider myself hugely successful, but that's because I love my team and I love the people that I work with on a regular basis. But I do feel like if I were to go to my sister or Erin Young and kind of talk about what I'm going through, it's so far removed. It's like when you had a baby and your mom was like, oh, blah, 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 giving you this horrible advice. And you're like, first of all, you forget all the bad things. That's why you have more than one child, because childbirth is awful. Newborns are very hard, and you only remember the good things. So a lot of times when someone's giving you that positivity and that reinforcement, you're like, well, what do you know? It's falling on deaf ears. Sometimes it feels that way. So if you ever want to reach out to someone other than your upline, we would never be offended, because we do it with each other. And, with your goals, if you have a tack board, tack it up on that board, those goals. Put it in a picture frame if you've got one laying around. Make it the screensaver or wallpaper on your phone. So when you get on there, you can see that it's reminding you every single day. And again, these don't have to be business related. These can be personal. Whether it's, your marriage or being more patient with your children, which we're probably all going to need to be blessed with that over the summer, because it's hot and I am so mean when I am hot. Oh man, forget it. So just be kind to yourself. And again, I can talk all night long and lecture you on how to love yourself and all that good stuff. But ultimately, with your summer, if you want to reach those goals, you need to have a date with yourself every day, whether it's your workout or your business or both, hopefully. Put it on your calendar. Put it on your calendar and just do it. But schedule time with your family. Again, and I'm just trying to summarize everything we said. Make those lists. Turn off your phone if it's outside of your business hours, or leave it inside if you're outside with your kids. So just do what you got to do. Eat the frog, send the invite, do the follow-up, add the friends, recognize your challengers and recognize yourself, guys. Do a mock post. Oh my gosh, Renee, you are so awesome. You took a shower today. I can't believe you. So, relish in those small victories. And then, hi, Harper. And hold yourself accountable. But I think that wraps up our call. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and see if we have any questions. But again, thank you so much for joining us. And don't hesitate to ever reach out if you have any more questions. We will post this call in your team pages.